Committee reports. Legislative update, Mrs. Shorter.
Oh, thank you. I have a brief update. It's a little bit about a topic that Carrie and Ms. Blaine touched on earlier. It is about the cuts. It's 300 million and then another 55 million in K through 12 cuts. So the details were released Wednesday showing that K through 12 education would be impacted as a result of state tax collections that were reduced by 867 million below the estimates that they expected for April. So the total cuts to K through 12 education in one pot is 300 million. That's what we're looking at. So the cuts were geared to protect lower property wealth school districts to some extent by cutting funding less on a per pupil basis. But these cuts are effective for 2020. Fairfield is slated to lose 1.65 million. That's compared to Lakota, who's slated to lose 3.4, Mason 2.1, Hamilton just a little over $1 million. So the reductions will be applied proportionally to districts' final 3 payments of the fiscal year. And in some cases, for some districts, which is what I'm understanding, there are some districts that will basically, those cuts will eliminate the amount of money that they were going to have in those next 3 payments for the fiscal year. That's the impact. There's also the additional 55 million, and this is kind of like a budget line item cut. They're singling out things such as student assessment, report cards, unspent voucher funds. So total, it's 355 million. Now, Governor DeWine has stated that there will be a budget shortfall in fiscal year 2021. He shared that they're intending to tap into the state's rainy day fund for 2021. So as Mrs. Lane shared, we will be impacted for 2021. There's almost no doubt about that. The state did receive CARES funding. That CARES funding is a part of the COVID response in the legislation that was passed maybe a month or 2 ago. But in response to that, the state got 489 million. So 90% of those funds, however, are slated to go to education agencies in proportions that are similar to which they receive Title I funding. I don't know the full impact of that, and Mrs. Lane will have all of those things factored in when we talk about the 5-year forecast. But just letting everyone know that COVID is already impacting the district financially. It's impacted our kids in their presence in being in the building and being present for events and learning, but it's also impacting us financially. And there's more to come. So we'll have to buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride. That's it. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Mrs. Shorter. Any questions for Mrs.
You're
Shorter?
welcome.
Okay. Butler Tech update. Nothing to report other than the administration is looking into how they could open adult education back up, because technically the governor never shut down the adult education portion of the school. So they're looking at ways where they can make things safe for the students and return the adult education students back to the certain campuses. So that also would open up opportunities for graduating students or high school students to go back and get some of the lab time they need for their certifications. Okay, any questions on Butler Tech? Okay, Planning Commission, Mr. Begley.
Yes, I do report tonight. The commission met last week for the first time in a very long time, but it was a quick meeting with really only one resident item on the agenda, so nothing that affected the schools. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bagley.